This conference will now be recorded.
Basically put on between October and December. It was installed on all V8 cars. Again, the carburetor tag had the basically the same style tag on the V8s as the 6 cylinders, just different numbers for the carburetors. Again, the washer jar lid. 55, they also used the bag, but for the most part, the washer jar was on most of them. In 55 with the V8s, you had a tag put on the distributor, where in the 53s through 55 6 cylinders, that information was stamped inside the distributor. You had to pull the distributor cap off to see the numbers on that. 55, they put the tag on the outside of the distributor. On the shielding on the 55s, they had a Hallett Manufacturing tag riveted to the dome over the distributor, and also the dome over the coil. Both had the same tag on them, same style tag riveted to them. In 55, with V8s, we went to the 12-volt system. The back ground was red on the 12 volts. Basically the same information, the part number and the date code down where it says serial. Close up of the warning tag on the back of the generators. On the oil fill caps, they had a kind of cleaning label, tells how to clean it. The original ones had wash and kerosene and re-oil every 3,000 miles. The reproductions had 2,000 miles on them instead. And also at the bottom, you'll see there's a dot rather than the line on the originals here.
Mike?
Yeah.
Jim Williams asked, should there be inspection stamps in carb tags?
Should there be?
Well, yeah.
As far as I know, most of them I've seen, the original ones have some kind of an inspection punch out on them. Here you can see the difference in the background on the starter tags from the 6 cylinder to the 8 cylinder. Or that's the generator tag. No, that's a starter tag. Okay. I guess I am right. That is the starter. And you can see there's a couple different designs on the 12 volt. Close up of the tag. Also in the 55s, it had the top folding instructions on the back lid behind the seats. Again, you got the jacking instructions on top of the board. 56. Radiator tag. You can see the date code on that one, real nice. 56B. Be February of 56 on that one. If you had an SR1 car, it had a different radiator part number. Again, you had the caution sticker for the coolant. Generator. Again, you got the part number, date. Carburetor tag. Again, the oil cap had the cleaning instructions on it. Also, the distributor. All the distributors had black backgrounds, whether it was, all the 12 volt they didn't change to red. The black background was on all distributors. Starter. Oil filters. Starting in 56, sometime around March in 56, they started putting oil filters on the Corvettes. 55 V8s will not have an oil filter on it. This is the early silkscreen that was on the oil filter canister. Jacking instructions on the board again, top side. (1957) Oil canister was the same as the 56s.
Got another question.
Okay.
Jesse Walker SR1 car. Can you elaborate on the acronym?
Can I elaborate on what? They just had a different part number on the radiator. The radiator was different for the SR1s. I don't know what the difference is.
Thank you.
Part number for 57. Again, you can see the date 57C, which had been a March radiator. Coolant tag was again used on the 57s. Generator tag again. Red for the 12 volt. Part number, the date code. The airbox cars did have a different generator. Carburetor tags. You had one on each. If you had the 2 4s, you had one on the front and one on the back carburetor. Most of the time they were different. I think about every time the carburetors were different. Fuel injection. You had a tag on the enrichment. As far as I know, these did not have inspection stamps on them. It was an aluminum tag to 10 o'clock position on the enrichment diaphragm cover. On the planiums for the fuel injection, you had a metal tag riveted to the side. Very early 57s will not have a tag. It'll have a serial number stamped in place of the tag. Distributors for the 57. And again, the oil cap, the clean instruction, they were just used on the hydraulic motors. They were not used on the solid lifter motors. They had a sealed cap on the solid lifter motors. They weren't vented. '57, when you got a silver paint and the codes or some on the car was painted silver, you had this notice on there about the acrylic paint. This on the 57s, it was on the firewall, usually above the blower motor on the heater. Again, the jacking instructions on the top of the board of the spare tire cover. 57 positive traction come in play. On the early caution, they had this car was equipped. The later ones had this vehicle was equipped. So it was like this in 57 and early 58s before they changed the wording of it. You also had a rear end ratio tag put on starting in 56. This just kind of shows the location of where it should be on the rear end. Early 56 and 57 was ink stamped on a round disc. Later on in 57, the round disc meant a 336. You had a notch for a 370. The 411s was kind of an odd shape, tapered on both sides. The 456 was kind of squared off at the bottom with the sides kind of cut off. Under all C1s, you will find some kind of a seat or a tag for the seat. They're on underneath the bottoms or on the backs of about all C1s. This is what you'll see, but you won't see these judging because the only time you'll see them is if you pull the seats out. 1958, again the radiator tag. It had a different caution label for the coolant. It could be 50, or it could be 170 degree thermostat or 180 degrees. 180 degree was kind of hard to find. This is kind of hard to read, but I didn't really most of them you see is 170. Also had some clips on the overflow hose. Generator tag, again, red with the part number and the date code off to the right where it says serial. Starting in 58, we listed horsepowers on the valve covers. The low horsepower steel valve covers was gold numbers. You got on the aluminum valve covers and they were kind of a red orange color of the horsepower numbers. 245, 250, 270, 290 horse.
Got a question?
Yeah.
From Mark Francis, slide 77, are those rivets steel, aluminum, or stainless?
On
he just says slide 77.
I'm not sure what the rivets are, to be truthful with you. I guess I have to do a little more digging for that. Okay, 290 horsepower valve covers. If somebody's got the answer to what the rivets were, please speak up or text message Rick or something, and he can let us know.
Yeah, put it in chat.
Okay, carburetor tag. Again, the numbers for the carburetors are there to the right. Fuel enrichment tag. Maybe natural or yellow lacquered. You can see this is probably a repo tag by the outside edges. How they're kind of sharp. They're not rolled like the earlier ones. Fuel injection tag. Fuel injection air cleaner had a label on it about cleaning it. It should be a red orange. Distributors in 58. They had a band, aluminum band around the bottom for the 230 horsepower cars. They was riveted to the side of the distributor on the 245 and 270 horsepower cars. On the 250 and the 290 horsepower cars, the information was stamped into the cover, which went over the takeoff for the tachometer and the high pressure pump hookup on the off the bottom of the distributor there. Again, the vented oil cap 58 was the same as the earlier ones as far as the cleaning instructions on it. Had the rear end ratio tags again. In 58, if you got the acrylic paint, it was put in the seat separator between the seats after about model 1500. Before that, it was put on the fan shroud. Kind of hard to see that one. The oil canister wording changed in 58 from what it was in the 56 through 57. The wording stayed the same here through 67. The windshield washers had a kind of a rectangular jar type, and on the top it had a different type of takeoff to get the fluids in and out, and this adjustment screw was on, or there was an adjustment screw with this instructions attached on that screw. 58. Jacking instructions again on top of the board in the rear of the car trunk. Here you can see where it changed in 58 from car to vehicle. An original versus a reproduction. They're pretty close. Font's just a little different on some of the stuff, but overall it's pretty close. 58, they started putting a warning tag on the rear end around the fill plug. You had positive traction. There it just shows the what the tag should look like for the different rear end ratios. 59. Again, the radiator tag. Caution label. The overflow hose had the inspection clips on it. Again, we got the horsepower on the valve covers for 59. In 59, the carburetor tags changed material. Went from a brass to aluminum black anodized, usually on the finish of it. Also in 59, most carburetors did not have the Chevrolet part number, which was added late in 59. You can see it above the part number on the carburetor there. Again, the washing instructions, if you had a fuel injected car, on the air cleaner. Planium tag on the fuel injection. 59, if you had the vented cap, they changed the label for cleaning. It has now kind of got a gold background. This is not a very good picture of it. Instead of the orangish background as earlier caps. Early 59 still had the orange. Later ones, they went to the gold colored background. Again, the oil filter canister, silk screen. Generator tag, as it was in earlier cars. Part number to the left. Date code to the right on the serial. Again, you had the same adjustment tag on the 59. Also, they had the acrylic lacquer in the center separator cover in the inside. Here's a 59 added on top. You can see that's a reproduction jack instruction. You can tell by the outer edges of the of the wording out there. Here's an original versus a reproduction positraction. You can see the font's a little different on the part number and the numbers. Again, a reproduction versus an original. Close up of an original. Again, they still use the tag around the fill plug. Same rear end ratio. 1960. Use the same numbering or colored numbers on the valve covers for the horsepower. Generator, the same as earlier ones. 60, the copper radiator, you had the tag on it as before. They changed to aluminum radiators in 60 on some of them. Should have an inspection tag clipped over the side mounting. There's the aluminum radiator. It's got a expansion tank on top of the radiator. It did not use a separate expansion tank. They had a tag riveted to the top. Had the part number to the left and the date code to the right. Carburetor, again, you can see it's got the Chevrolet part number on top of the carburetor number. A lot of times the edges weren't rolled on these. They may be sharp on the later ones with the aluminum tags. Starting in 60, they put an air cleaner on that was serviceable. And late in 60s, when these come into play, you got the big AC off to the left, and it should say 2,000 miles right in the area right in here. You can see where my pointer's at. Again, we use the gold back vented valve cover or oil fill cap. In 60, they put a sticker on rather than putting the instructions over the adjustment screw. They were glued to the top of the cover. Again, the silk screen for the canister, the same through 1967 to 58. Again, you had the acrylic paint separator in the separator storage compartment lid. Jacking instructions again on top of the spare tire cover. And again, you got the metal plate or the metal warning around the fill plug for the positive traction rear ends. Same rear end ratio tag layout. 1961, valve covers were basically the same. You had the gold numbers for the steel covers and red numbers for the aluminum valve covers. Generator tag basically the same, except you had different numbers for ones with attack and without attack. Again, the carburetor tag, you can see the Chevrolet part number above the Carter number. Air cleaner, again, they were serviceable, basically the same as in 60. Fuel injection plenum tag. riveted to the side. 61s, early copper radiators, they used up what they had left over from 60. The first 200 or so 61 base motor cars used the copper radiator. Most cars had the aluminum radiator with the tank, surge tank across the top. Later, 61 aluminum radiators, they put the external surge tank off to the side. You had the tag riveted to the top of that also. Same as before, part number to the left, date code to the right. Surge tank, you had the caution label on it. WCFBs, either black anodized or aluminum. The AFB tags were all natural aluminum. Again, the gold background cleaning instructions on the vented oil caps. And again, the oil filter silk screen. There's the acrylic paint was last year for that in the 61. You can see it on the seat separator there pretty good. '61, '62, the spare tire or the jacking instructions changed. The still glued to the top. There you can see glued to the board. This particular car did not have positive traction. There was no warning for the positive traction on here. Here's one with the positive traction. You can see it off to the other side.
Hello, this is Fred.
Again, you got the warning for the
Yes.
positive traction. Yeah. Somebody say something? Okay. 62.
Yes. I don't
Part
know.
number.
How much is it going to cost?
Part number on the
Okay,
radiator.
sure, that'd be great. Yeah, I asked the other guy. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to replace that whole mirror," and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds expensive." So
Somebody's talking out there, got their mic on. Part number on the aluminum radiator tag. You can see it here. This is the first style they had on them, riveted. Then they went to the oil stickers. Caution on the expansion tank. I found this on the car. I have no idea whether somebody put that over it at a filling station or something. This is the only one I've ever seen like it. I just threw it in here because I'm not sure what it is, but anybody's got any ideas, feel free to speak up on it. Generator tag, basically the same as before. Early 62s used the same air cleaners as 60, 61, had the big AC with the 2,000 mile. Later on, big AC was gone, just a little AC in the circle at the top, and they went to 8,000 miles. The fuel injection air cleaner went to a yellow lettering instead of the orange, red orange as before. 62 valve covers. The steel valve covers was had the like a oil type 327 Chevrolet turbo fire on the top, where the 327 was raised letters, and it had a the 250 and a 300 horse sticker on the side for the lower horsepower cars. Again, you got the aluminum, had a goldish numbers on black background sticker on them. All the aluminum. Carburetor tag again. This one I'm pretty sure is probably a reproduction. I don't see any stamps in it. It may be an original. I'm not sure. Fuel injection plenum again. riveted to the side. Distributor, you can see the aluminum band around the bottom on this 250, 300 horse, 340, 360. Vented caps. Again, you use the goldish background. Cleaning instructions. Again, the oil filter silk screen. Jacking instructions as they were in 61. Still had the warning disc around the rear plug. This was just showed how the ratio discs should be cut for the different rear end ratios. There's the chart of them. That's it for the C1. So have any questions or anybody add anything for anything in the C1 area? Grab a drink here and we'll go on to the C2s then. 63. Very early radiators had the aluminum tag riveted to it. Most 63s will have the foil stuck to the radiator. There's, as far as I can tell, this is a reproduction on the right. If you look at this line coming down through here, it lines up with the edge of the H, the edge of the 3, through the middle of the A, kind of the middle of the E and A. If you look over here, it's way off. And right in here, the R is moved to the next line down, where in this reproduction, it is after the products. This is the second version of the coil, the coolant label. It's got filler cap, must be tight. The original label is like the earlier 180 degree ones. See an inspection sticker there above the coolant tag, and here you got an inspection sticker on the over the surge tank. Again, the valve covers as they were in 62. You had the foil with the kind of raised 327 letters. 250 and 300 horse were water soluble on the sides. You can see the difference in the valve covers. They had the triangular kind of plenum there, where the earlier ones was just straight down here. Same on the aluminum valve covers. They black background with the gold lettering. Carburetor tags. I'm not sure if they quit putting the inspection notches or punches out on these or not, because most of these I've seen don't have them on after you get into the C2s. Air cleaner instructions was silk screen in red in 63 and 64. Kind of a close-up of it. You can see a little better. They went to 12,000 miles over the 8,000 in 62 late. The fuel injection plenum tag, fuel meter tag. And the service instructions on the air cleaner for the fuel injection. Distributor had the aluminum band around it. The fuel injection still had the number stamped on the side cover. Again, the oil canister silk screen, same as starting in 58. Front spring tags. This was used on air conditioning cars. The regular springs had a light purple stripe of paint, and the Z06 cars had a dark green paint stripe. 63 air conditioning became available. The original air conditioning compressors had two different tags tacked to them, plus a caution decal put on. You also had a inspection stamp in yellow. Air box, or the heater box, had a Harrison tag on. It also had a sticker in the glove box. This is the first style sticker, was also used on passenger cars. The second style sticker was used just on the Corvettes. You can kind of see the difference between a reproduction and an original here. I'll thank Jack Morocco for giving me this one. Also on the 4-speeds, all bolt owners and Muncie's had a tag on the bottom attached to one of the side cover bolts. Jacking instructions starting in the C2s was on the board behind the seats, which covered where the jack was stored. Kind of see the location of the stickers. This is what the jacking instructions were actually looked like. There's an original versus a reproduction. You can see the font difference. Also, the date code's missing on the reproduction. Positive traction, same as later 58s. Board stickers, you can kind of see the major difference in the font on the ones on that one. Also, the JP Stevens stickers, you can definitely see the difference in the font of the reproductions versus the originals. '63, '64, they used a metal tag around the fill plug yet. '64 used that same radiator aluminum foil tag. Also had the caution. A lot of times you had a inspection sticker stamp on there. You can see it right by the date code and the part number stamped into the radiator itself. Inspection sticker on the surge tank. Again, valve covers were like the '63s. Carburetor tag. Again, the air cleaner instructions was in red lettering. '63, '64. Fuel injection tag on the plenum. Fuel enrichment tag. And the air cleaner instructions. The band around the distributor. Again, the fuel injection distributors were stamped on the fuel injection cover plate over where the high pressure and the tack was taken off. '64, we come into the transistor ignition. The coils had a tag on. You can see an original versus a reproduction. Very, very close on that. The amplifier also had a sticker on it. Front springs. This is a standard spring tag in '64. Here's an F40 front spring tag. Again, the oil filter silk screen, same as earlier. The air compressor, or the air conditioner, compressor had considerably different markings on it. The jacking instructions were the same as '63. Except in '64, the KO wheels come out, the knockoffs. They were a little different configuration. You can kind of see the knockoff in the center of the wheel versus the regular one. Again, the positive traction warning. And again, you had the metal metal tag around the fill plug on 64. 1965. Again, the valve covers basically the same as earlier. Raised 327 on the label. 250, 300 horse was along the sides. The aluminum valve covers had the black background with the gold lettering again. You got the 396, there was an emblem or a sticker on the air cleaner. The fuel injection still had it down on the valve cover. Oil sticker was same on top of the radiator. They had a different caution cooling system protection thing label there. It was on the fan shroud. Also the inspection sticker on the expansion tank. You got a big block. You had the coolant service instructions on the fender well. And the plenum tag on the fuel injection. Fuel enrichment tag. Early 65 was the same as service instructions as 63, 64. Later in 65, their number was added off to the left-hand side of the instructions. Carburetor tag, basically the same as before. Air cleaner for 65. The ink changed to black on the instructions. 396 air cleaner had white instructions on the black background. Distributor tag, aluminum tag for the most of the cars, all but the fuel injection. There you can see the date code is also on the aluminum band on all them cars with the aluminum bands. Again, the transistor ignition coil had the sticker on it. And the amplifier had the sticker on it. Air conditioning compressor. This is the first style. They changed kind of the labels. So you can kind of see where I got an arrow pointing here. You'll see on the next one how it's changed a little bit. I'm not sure at what point or what VIN number that changed over, but there is two different stickers on the 65s. Again, the standard front spring tag, big block front spring, and an F40 suspension front spring. Again, the silk screen on the oil canister was the same as earlier. And you got the 4-speed tag for the Muncies attached to the one of the bolts that holds the side cover. 65 storage cover, and jacking instructions. If you got a big tank, anywhere 63, 64, 5, 6, or 7, the jacking instructions was on top of the tank cover in the back. Also had the positive traction above it. Big tank, it had the knockoff wheels. Had a little different jacking instruction, the label back there on the fuel cover. Showed it with the hammer and that along with the jack. All the C2s, if most of the originals under the carpet, you can find a J.P. Stevens sticker telling what the carpet was or what color and where it went. front, back, side, so forth. Again, you probably won't see these. You got to pick the carpet up. It's on the bottom side. In 65, we went to a plastic tag for the plaza traction rear end. In 65, it had the part number right next to the fill plug. It's the only year that part number showed up. It's in 65. In 1966, same Harrison aluminum or foil radiator tag. The big blocks had no on them. Again, the expansion tank inspection number. Early 66s still had the 300 horsepower sticker off to the side of the cover. Later on, they moved it up. They changed the top 327 sticker. It was no longer had the raised letters on it. The aluminum valve covers are still the same. Small block air cleaner. Wording has changed a little bit since 65. Big blocks had 427 and the horsepower rating around the outside lid. There was a 390, a 450 horse here, and a 425 horse here. Starting in September of 65, they started putting ID stickers on the back of the valve covers. This is a big block PVC valve tag that's between the hose and the PVC valve itself. Again, the distributor had an aluminum band around it, tell you which one it was. Transistorized coil again.
Okay, I'm back. Everything I say is.
And the amplifier had the sticker on it. Front spring tag, that's a standard front spring tag there. ED, big block, and F41 suspension. Oil filler canister, silk screen, same as before. 66. This was an orange caution label, date coded August 11th, 65. Date coded November 11th, 65. It's got a green caution sticker on it. Again, 4-speed tag attached to the side cover by one of the screws. 66, early 67, they had a tire pressure label in the glove box door. Here's original versus reproduction. You can kind of see the pound sign at the end of the 450 is a lot different. The font's fairly close, but there is a difference in the numbers down at the part number. You can kind of see a lot of difference in the fonts there. Rear storage compartment. JP Stevens sticker on the back cover underneath it. Plaza traction tag on the rear end. You can see the part number is gone. Again, original versus reproduction. Jacking instruction. Basically the same since 63. KO wheels the same as from 64. And the positive traction, same. 1967. Added in 67 on the small blocks was a Flynn engine plant sticker. Tonawanda sticker on the big blocks is on top of the valve cover. The horsepower rating went to the air cleaner lid, 300, 350 horse. There you can kind of see the silk screen, how it's kind of raised up. 427, 400 horse sticker on top. 435 horse sticker on top. There's the silk screen on the tri-power cars. There's just kind of a close-up of the silk screen, how you can see how it's kind of raised up. Again, the distributor tag had the band around it, aluminum band around the shaft of the distributor. There's a 435 horse band. Again, the transistor ignition coil had the label on it and the amplifier. Front spring, same for the standard, the big block, and the F41. Silk screen still the same on the oil canister. Compressor for the air conditioning. Got the green caution as in weight 66. You can see the inspection stick stamp. This is on the heater box. You had a tag or sticker stuck around the bail, usually the rear bail of the master cylinder. There you can see the transmission tag, actually one I'm bolted on. You won't probably see this a lot of the times that they're all of the clusters had a different sticker on the back, so they knew which motor, which horsepower, told which tack was in it, and so forth. What oil pressure. They changed oil pressures, high, big blocks, little blocks, and some of them, so forth. Glove box tire pressure sticker, 67. They had a P inside the Chevrolet bow tie. There you can see an original one. You got an L88. This warning was on the center console. 67, they started putting the GM stickers on the door sill, or on the both passenger and driver's door back of the door jam area. 67, the jacking instructions changed from earlier. Probably due to the rally wheels over the hubcaps on the other ones. They weren't really KO wheels. They were the bolt-on KOs, but they had a little different sticker. Now the same sticker was used for both, I believe. And the positive traction sticker, JP Stevens sticker on the board. You can see how this was black, 1070T black. This is 1147T red. They have different numbers on the top for the different colors. Again, the carpet tag underneath the carpet. See, it's a lot like the tag that's on the cover for the over the jack area back there. Another carpet tag. Radiator tag, same as earlier cars. Label used on small blocks and L88 big blocks. Other big blocks did not have the sticker. Again, inspection sticker on the expansion tank. you had a big block, or if you had a power glide car, you had this little tag attached to the side of the radiator. You can see it right in here, MJ. Sway bar sticker on it. Most of them were blacked out. Again, the rear end positive traction lube warning on the fill plug. That's it. I thank you for joining in. If we got any questions, or you got anything you can add, or anything to tell me I did wrong, speak up.
Nice job, Mike.
Thank you.
Got a couple of questions, one from Scott Harrison.
Down here at the bottom. There you
Did the C2 seats have a tag on them?
go. Oh, really?
Did
Thank
what?
you, Mike.
Who's got the
Thank you, Mike.
Too many people talking. What was the question?
Bill got in the last
Good job,
5
Mike.
minutes.
Good job.
Bill Green doesn't know how to log in. If you go over here. Yeah.
Mike had a question.
Give it a thumbs up right there. I mean, your name will show up.
Too many people talking.
That's all I got. That's 1-3 now? Yes. Yours showed up on my phone when I did that. Okay. So yeah, I got a smartphone for a dummy.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, almost your last slide with the sway bar. Was that the front sway bar or rear sway bar?
That was a front one there.
Okay, thank you.
What was the other question, Rick?
Did the C2 seats have a tag on them like the C1s? If so, what did the tag have?
What did one have a tag like the C1s?
C2, did the C2 seats have a tag on them like the C1s?
C2?
If so, what info did the tags have?
I did. I'm supposedly they had something on the bottom, but I'm not sure. I found that one, and I know a lot of the C1s I've looked at had them on, but the C2s, I'm thinking there was a tag down underneath some of them, but I can't remember for sure. I got to do some more looking on that.
I've got a question here. I have 3 people listed as NCRS, NCRS Judging Zoom, and NCRS Tech. Would you please identify yourselves?
Sorry, Rick. One of them's me, Pat Santinello.
I should have known better. Which one are you?
I'm a person. NCRS. That's all it says.
NCRS.
NCRS.
Okay,
Try to change it.
I got it.
I don't make it difficult for you. Good job, Mike. Nice job.
Mike, thank you very much. As always, fantastic. Anybody saying?
Still there?
NCRS Judging Zoom, we can't understand. We can't understand. Send me an email. Want to judging. I can't understand. I muted them because I don't know what they're saying.
How many's left on, Rick?
37.